So you can ask those questions
Yeah.
to what she said.
Acting Mayor, Commissioner Shawn Harris.
Uh-huh.
Is there a conspiracy going on?
Conspiracy? That I would say, matter of fact, I would say yes.
What do you think is the conspiracy and why?
Well, basically, I don't understand where they're coming at with this particular legislation that they put forward. It makes no sense. I'm still the mayor, he's still the commissioner, and we're still going to continue to clean this place up.
Well, Acting Mayor, she just told us on camera that you submitted your resignation today at around 11, 12 o'clock. Is that true?
What resignation? I didn't sign any
I
resignation.
have no idea.
And who said that?
Who? What's it? Lisa Copeland. She said it on record. She's on camera saying that.
What did she say?
She said that the acting mayor offered his resignation earlier this morning at around 11, 12 o'clock. And according to the charter, if there is a vacancy, the acting or the
Really?
council president will become the mayor. And she was just sworn in as the acting council president about
Okay.
an hour ago.
Okay. Well, see, to me, she wasn't sworn in as the acting mayor. She was sworn
No,
in.
not mayor, acting council president.
She was sworn in as the city council president.
Exactly.
And I agree with them. They have all the right to do that. They can swear in any one of them within the four as many times as they want to do it, if they want to come up and change things around. I have no quarrels with that. But the bottom line is, that has nothing to do with me. That has all to do with the council.
No, it does.
No, sir. I am the mayor, and that's it.
But let me just correct something, because I think he misspoke. I think what Lisa was trying to say is that the former Mayor Richard Thomas submitted his resignation today at between 11 and 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So there's so there's your vacancy today.
Okay, well.
So now that the vacancy is today, and they just made her city council president, there's a good chance she may be the acting mayor.
Okay.
Because they're acknowledging Richie resigned today at 2 o'clock.
Let me break it down. Let me break it down for everyone, so this way it's very clear.
Please.
I'm going to be very blunt in what I'm saying, and I'm not going to hold no punches. Okay? One, this conspiracy or gathering between Richard Thomas, Lisa Copeland, Shawn Patterson, and Joe Spezio is not going to work. This whole thing with Jeffrey Buss, who is Joe Spezio's lawyer, and Joe Spezio was here while this was all happening, standing in the background watching. So I know exactly what's going on, and I'm not concerned with it. Because if anybody would have looked at the judge's ruling today that came out, it says that the mayor has vacated his office back in July 8th. And I was to take office back in July 8th. That has happened. That is the facts. That is the judge ruling. The judge did not rule that the mayor had vacated today. When the ruling stated and he was denied in court, okay, any of his TRO or his preliminary emergency injunction, okay, what has happened was the judge ruled that he had vacated the office on pleading guilty to his criminal offenses.
There you go.
Therefore, I have become the acting mayor at that time. What they are saying now, we're trying to give the mayor $35,000 to me, pushed by especially Duarte and the others, looks like some kind of payoff on cover-up to remove him. So we don't go back and pay criminals for doing wrong. We don't reward them. We do not negotiate with terrorists. This is how it is. And if they continue down this road with this illegal activity, okay, that, you know, they're opening the door to a whole lot of different things. This is hush money giving up because I'm afraid that Mayor Thomas has something on them. And I had made this clear before when others were telling me that why would I fire people because they might have some kind of invested interest or something going on with them. That's not my job. My job is to do the work of the people.
Right.
My orders come back to me from the community and the people that I meet when I'm walking down the street. When I ran, I said my goals were to restore government, clean it up, and return it to the people so that we have a responsible, honest government. I've been doing that. I uncovered many of employees that had no-show jobs and gotten rid of them. We have found and identified millions of dollars missing in the IDA as I froze the accounts in there. And I have taken over the water department accounts as well. And we are missing $1.3 million in there. And this is just the beginning. I just made sure that I went through the 2018 IDA audit that was done and completed already, that the mayor was hiding till after the election. It still hasn't come out yet. But when you do see it, you're going to be disturbed on what's happening in our city and that the money has been misappropriated. And some of the other folks who agree with this and work with Joe Spezio, I'll say this. I identified the $700,000. It's about $690-something thousand that was paid to Universal Engineering Services, which is Joe Spezio's daughter's company.
What?
Okay, who was the deputy police commissioner, who is making all of the calls and the shots. I don't have to tell everybody. Figure it out for yourself. Look at the pattern of who's involved, okay? And from there, when you look at the pattern of who's involved and the money's that missing, is very, very clear, okay? Especially with the audits. I don't lie because I don't want to deal with having to remember what I had said. So I tell it as it is. There is documentation to what I'm saying. And you have to ask yourselves this. Why are so many people gathering up to stop me from going and doing and continuing the investigation? Why? So obviously this is a question that you should be asking the council, well, we will ask former Mayor Thomas more questions coming up in the future, but some of the others as well, and ask what the relationship is between Joseph Spezio, Richard Thomas, Shawn Patterson, and the others, and see what's going on from there.
But Mr. Wallace, you have an administration now going on, and there is serious friction between, at least it appears to be, between the council and you. She was very clear that you are not the mayor. At least that
Who was very clear?
Miss Copeland. I asked her, who is the mayor of Mount Vernon now?
That was Miss Copeland who said that?
Yes, and she refused to answer. She didn't say André Wallace is.
No.
She refused to answer that question.
Well, that is your answer. Because I'm telling you right now, you can ask me the same question. Would you like to?
Yeah.
Please, go ahead.
So, Mr. Wallace, who is the mayor of Mount Vernon? Make it clear to the people of Mount Vernon.
I am the mayor of Mount Vernon, and there is no doubt about that.
Why is the acting council president refusing to admit or accept that you are the person in charge of this great city?
It doesn't matter what they say.
To the people it does, sir.
It matters what the charter says, okay? And if they do their research and they go through the charter and they look at certain things in the charter, even if I'll guide them to it, go to 61, and it'll explain to you right then and there that they have no power to remove me. And when you're the acting mayor and you come in, you are the acting mayor until the next election, until the next person who is elected takes over. And right now, I am the acting mayor, and I will continue to do my job, and I am coming to work, and I'm going to move the city forward. I'm going to move Memorial Field forward. I'm going to move the parking legislation. I'm going to move the city things, and we're going to move to create these jobs and continue with new development that's coming in here, that's responsible development, that's going to bring our city to the forefront. That is all I have to do, and that is what I'm going to continue to do. Other people are asking me all these other questions about other things. No, my focus is to refocus our people in our city to become a #1 city in Westchester. That is my goal.
Now, question for the commissioner. Commissioner, nice to see you back at your job.
Thank you.
Sir, how did you find the department? Is everyone willing? Well, is everyone accepting you? Any friction within the department? How are things going for you?
I haven't been back in the building yet.
You haven't entered the building yet.
No.
But you talk.
And today, I'm very disturbed to hear that I have city council people making public statements that I'm not recognized as a police commissioner. And then it's even more disturbing that they further those statements and say that if I enter the police department, that I shall be arrested. And to make public statements like that about a son of Mount Vernon, a man that has dedicated his adult life to the service of this city and to his country, and served as the police commissioner, served as a police officer in many capacities, to say that you are giving that direction, that I'd be arrested if I walk into a building, the police department, where I am legally and appointed the police commissioner, that's very disturbing. And how can I walk into a building where people are giving those orders and they're willing to follow them?
Now, commissioners.
So we have serious problems in this city.
That is problems.
Where now, you know, and I find this ironic too, that before, when Mayor Wallace was appointed the mayor on July 10th, then after that, then a memo went out saying that the legislation was illegal, and then members of the police department the leadership of the police department would not act on that until there was a court order, something from the court. But then this happens today, and that tone is not the same. Where's the mention of, oh, well, we're not going to acknowledge, whoever the city council president as mayor until we get a court order. So you needed a court order to be recognized as mayor. I needed a court order to be recognized as a police commissioner. But then today there's no court order, and people are being recognized as mayor, and I'm not recognized as the police commissioner. So I find, today I'm very, very disappointed in the city that I love, the image that is being portrayed around the world about my city. And I always try to stay out of politics, and unfortunately I've been brought into this, but something has to be done.
Let me ask you this,
Let me just say one thing on this gentleman's behalf. Remember, the former mayor boasted about how great of a job he has done, how crime has been down 35%, and things were getting done, okay? When did that stop? And when did that change? Especially when the council was saying, make sure that he doesn't go anywhere because things are going well. Now all of a sudden, it just disappears.
And before you go for the next question, I also have to just state that, and I have to put this out there, that all this that's going on, always remember that the men and women of the police department have continued to conduct themselves professionally. All right, as professionals, and it's a shame that the men and women of the Mount Vernon Police Department has been put into this and brought into this mess, and for political reasons, and because of an election. It's bad.
Now, Commissioner, if somebody from the council is suggesting or making public statements that you should be arrested if you walk into that building, then at the same time they say that they don't recognize you as a police commissioner and you were appointed by the current mayor. So somehow there is something going on and you're not being recognized because they're disputing your appointment.
Absolutely. And like I said, I think I summed it all up. I made it clear, all right? And there are people that benefit from keeping things the same. That is why they're afraid. And they fear me, because I made it clear already. I'm here to clean the place up. I'm here to restore it and turn it back over to the people. For very long, it just has not gone that way. So it's time for a change, and they are afraid of the change, and it's got to change. And there is a saying back in Jamaica. They call it. It's kind of like. In America, they say it's pus, that you squeeze it. Mm-hmm. Until we squeeze the wound and get the pus out, we can't heal properly. We have to get rid of all of that. Mm-hmm. We have to clean up what is the bad parts of the injury that we are suffering now. and then it'll heal. And that's what it's all about. Focusing on moving forward and making sure that we heal this city and continue to do the people's business.
Thank you,
Thanks.
sir.
Got it. Thanks, sir.